Hello, and welcome to Two Up World Travels. This is part one of a multi-part presentation of our epic adventure across India. We start our journey in Delhi, where we visit a few historical sites, including the India Gate, a Gandhi Memorial, and one of my favorite things we did was a walking tour through Old Delhi to a spice market. One of my main reasons for visiting India was to see and photograph a Bengal tiger, maybe see the Taj Mahal, and ride an elephant up a mountain to an abandoned city. Why not? We did all this and so much more. We also started to acclimate to all the colors and the noise at first, which were almost overwhelming, but then I found it fascinating. We scheduled a pickup ahead of time from Sandeep Singh from Mahalaxmi Travels, which was one of the best choices we've made. After you've been flying for 10 and a half, 2 and a 4-hour flight, it's nice to get picked up at the airport. He brought us right to our hotel. Nice vehicle, great guy. Next day, he even brought us to get eSIMs for our phones, which turned out to be the most complicated procedure for getting a SIM card for your phone of any country I've been to. It took over 3 hours. You have to go to a phone company. They have to have your passport, call in somewhere, get you verified, wait for them to call you back that you were verified, and then go through a procedure where you have to sign a 1-month contract. It was inexpensive, but it was just took a long time. But we were glad that we did that because we had a couple of situations where we really needed that phone across India, including a couple of flat tires on our motorcycle. So, yep, good thing to do. He's a great guy to contact. If you're thinking of going to India, landing in Delhi, might want to consider giving him a call. Sandeep led us through a market to a place we never would have found, a little pharmacy, to buy some cough syrup, cough drops, because 3 of the 4 of us caught some kind of cough the first few days. At the India Gate, we had our first request from a woman to take a photo with my wife, Linda. It seems her blonde hair and white skin attracts the Indian people. So on the trip, a lot of women would stop and say, give me their phones and say, would you take a photo of me with Linda? Of course, they don't speak English, but they would motion. So then I would take a photo with my phone. So I had photos of my wife with all kinds of women that ask, in their various, dress, which is really nice. And men would sometimes stop and ask me, but the men wouldn't want to take a photo with Linda, and the women wouldn't want to take a photo with me because they seem to separate things a lot in India. It's a very conservative country. we visited this amazing temple complex, Swaminarayan or something like that. I can't pronounce it. But this photo was the only photo you could see, the only sight you could see of the complex from the parking lot, the little top of the roof. They wouldn't allow you to bring any phones or cameras onto the property. In fact, they scanned all the bags and phones and cameras on the way in and wouldn't allow anybody to bring them in. These photos I have here, I took from a pamphlet I bought at the gift shop. In a way, it was nice. You didn't see people taking photos everywhere, but in a way, it was, disappointing because it was such a beautiful place. Upon exiting the Red Fort, we encountered a young man who offered to give us a tour of the spice market in Old Delhi. We negotiated a price and we said, okay. Some of the things that we saw were pretty amazing. The sounds of all the horns beeping and the cars along the way were almost overwhelming. And then he brought us downstairs where we saw people building things, and it was like being in the set of an Indiana Jones movie. But the first thing he taught us was how to walk across the street. And this was the first city we visited out of a 35-day trip across India. And he says, you just walk across the street. The cars go around you, they stop for you. The one thing is you don't stop and you never back up.
साड़ी देखनी है जी। यहाँ देखो बनारसी सिल्क कांजीवरम।
मेरे दिल के दर्द को तुम समझ लो। फिर दुकान पे खाना वाना फिर
We visited a Lotus Temple in New Delhi. It's notable for its lotus-like shape, and it's a house of worship that's open to all people regardless of religion or any other qualification. And on the way back to the hotel, we passed a Burger Sing. I had to take a picture of it because they don't serve meat hamburgers. They might serve a chicken burger. On our last night in Delhi, we splurged and had dinner at an Orient Express replica train car. It was a really high-end, elegant experience, and even right outside the train car window was somebody playing a grand piano, and it was just beautiful. We went to bed early as we had to get up early the next day and take a 5:40 train ride to Agra to continue our journey. Well, that's it for part one of our epic journey across India. Stay tuned for part two, where we take a train ride to the city of Agra and view the Taj Mahal, the Wind Palace, and another beautiful small building called, they nicknamed the Baby Taj. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you'll come back and follow us along for part two, and keep on traveling.